Okay, so this is my first game in losers bracket. My last game was my first loss of the tournament, R.B.E.T. 2. Playing Gottoms frogs, crazy frog combo. Everyone hates it. Some people, even consider committing heinous acts upon themselves just by the thought of this deck. But there's one deck that makes me feel that way, but you shouldn't expect to see it so far in the tournament. And that deck would be Gladiator Beasts. So everyone's been making a meme. Some people, especially like legacy players, people who remember Edison, haven't been playing it recently. They're really big on Glads. So we get a lot of these people who are probably really good players who are like, Glads are the best. And then, usually they get their wake-up call when they actually join the tournament and get blown out by random bad people. In this case, that did not happen. So here we're playing against Glads. I have not experienced Glads. I just barely eked out a victory against Glads in the last R.B.E.T tournament. So this deck that probably shouldn't exist, and if you do run into it, it should only be in the early rounds. I happen to run into it playing a frog deck, which is probably the easiest matchup for them. So let's see if I win this die roll. I don't remember. I do not. So I would say, like, you can't just say, like, oh, I lost a die roll and that's why I lost. Because, I mean, that is a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! You can't get around it. But it's like you have bracket luck, too. Like, if I had matched up against so many things, if I had matched up against more Diva Heroes, Diva Heroes, or, like, hell, Quick Draw, just plenty of decks, so many decks, that weren't, like, such, like, crazy grind, like, anti-meta kind of decks, then maybe I would have been fine. But instead, like, my entire bracket was things that are against me.
Your
Right?
counters.
Yeah. So the only easy match I had was Diva Hero, and against him I had to fight, like, 9 Vanities Fiends. Like, I don't know. So I had bad bracket luck. So even though, I did win a couple die roll, I lost more than I won, though. I think I lost 3 die rolls and won 2. I think that's right.
So was
And
he
look
at
at this.
two
So here's
chariots and a
what's
smashing ground?
yeah. So this is fine. It's nothing crazy. I mean, if I can, like, if he summons either of these and I can attack over it with a swap frog, then his hand does nothing. I'm pretty sure he just, if all he does is activate this Prisma, then I probably could have just gone for the combo, and maybe I should have. But what's really annoying is how insanely good this hand is. And realistically, like, I know he's not an oppression. Maybe I should have just gone for it, and I don't think I do. I do. I'm very smart. So this was actually nothing. It was just a Gladiator Beast War Chariot. So here I get to... right. So this game was crazy. I knew it was against Glad, so maybe I was on tilt a little bit. I don't know. But my hand's pretty good. Like, I had the Pot of Avarice and Exodius early, and I get to go for it with the Fishborg. So normally this just gets you there. But I drew bricks in a very bad order. So in the last series, I said that once you combo, or maybe during my tutorial, I said once you start comboing, you have like a 5% chance of, like, not getting there. This was that 5% chance. So here I have to play around stuff like crazy. And I end up getting almost my full board, but I never find my Imperial Iron Wall. So I'm, like, more vulnerable to things. I was more afraid of a D-Prison than maybe I should have been. But I'm pretty sure this game is, I get, like, the regular setup that I think is so perfect. But
Never got the.
that might be the next game, actually. No, I'm pretty sure it's this game. But yeah, I never get the Iron Wall, so it's like I was, like, more afraid. And I couldn't go infinite. There's no way to punish it. So normally it's like, okay, good luck breaking this board. And even if you break most of it, you can't break all of it. And the part that you don't break will get me somewhere. But here, it's like I didn't have all of it, and he broke the sum of it I had, and that sucked. So yeah, here drawing a swap frog is the worst thing ever, and if you pay attention, it happens to me a lot. But I guess it is something like a 5% chance or something. But so drawing Foolish and Plague sucks. And, we're getting pluses. We're going through the deck, but everything we're drawing is blank. So yeah, here we had to stop. There's nothing going on here. And yeah, that's the big thing. So I was playing my deck in such a way that it was really banking on 2 of these draws during this little sequence here. 2 of these draws with this poison draw loop needed to hit an Exodius or a Pot of Avarice, which maybe it's not this game, but there was literally a 1 in 3 chance times 2, so it was almost a 50, maybe like a 40% chance that I didn't just completely stop, and I ended up losing that. So I lost, like, a couple small marginal little edges that ended up adding up into me having to stop early. Obviously, you get somewhere. Like, it's not really something to complain about, but what you can't have is that and them have something good, which them playing Glads is automatically something good. So yeah, so here I was bluffing my Iron Wall, like he knew my combo at all, but it didn't matter. Like, it's not like I was going to do any Treeborn stuff, So this would have been great if I had an Iron Wall. And the only thing I was afraid of is the Cardi top deck. And the way I was playing was so whack, but I was like, there's no way in hell I'm losing to an Imperial Iron Wall right now. Because that's the whole point of the setup, is Stardust is vulnerable to, like, people run, they run DD Prison because it's so good against Stardust. Like, this is what makes this card not very good a lot of times. And then the answer is Iron Wall. So, like, what would have happened is this is what it was supposed to be, which was in my... That's another thing. So I said I lost, like, the 1 and 3. I also could have just drawn the wall and been fine, right? So that it was slightly better than, like, a 1 in 3 chance times 2. Anyway, so here I know that this could be a prison. And that's exactly what it is. So good thing I played around that. I would have straight up lost. But yeah, so normally what I could do is flip this, get rid of your War Chariot, or War Chariots in this case, and just poke with Unifrog every turn. But I'm afraid. So I have to do things weird. In that case, yeah, so in this case, I'm pretty sure I shoot this Dupe Frog. No, I use the salvage, right. So I knew the salvage, because, yeah, I can do subset every turn. Had I used my normal summon already? I could have... Nah. Yeah, I'm right. So I get the flip-flop. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it again next turn. That's exactly what happened. So this wasn't a Glad, so I didn't have to bounce that. It didn't matter. But I knew I wasn't going to attack with Stardust, because there could have been a D prison back there, especially with this new back row. So I was like, there's no way this is attacking. So this thing can actually maybe do something someday. So I was like, let's bounce it. So we're going to poke. Then he activates the D prison, so that's when I knew I was right, except for this wasn't going to be able to do what it's supposed to do, which is every turn clear your back row, which is actually the plan with my setup. So the reason my setup is so good is because, hey, even if you set 5 back row, I have a Stardust that's already out, and I'm going to poke with Unifrog every turn with the dupe block. Good luck. But yeah, you can see how this isn't that sturdy in a lot of situations. Smashing felt real bad. This is where I got confused, and Keegan messaged me. Because yeah, he killed the Stardust, and I said a little late or whatever. So I thought he was saying, oh, let me target Substitute. I was like, well, I'm still going to be able to tribute Stardust. Why does it matter? And I forgot that he was negating it. No big deal. So I just killed the Substitute too. And he wasn't going to do anything else. It didn't matter. And I had a Substitute in hand, so it didn't matter. But here I try to make a level 8, I think, right? Or level 6? Yeah, level 6. So this would have been another Stardust, but I only run 1. So maybe this is the best reason why I should run 2 Stardusts, is in case I can't get the Iron Wall. And maybe the few times where I do make 2 Stardusts, that's really only something that's going to happen after game 2 or 3. But yeah, hey, maybe that's a good enough reason. So maybe I'll start running 2 Stardusts now. Because that would have made a difference there. I still win this game, but it was a lot harder than it needed to be. So I was afraid of any Glide he could have drawn. He had Secutor, so it didn't really matter. So he's on nothing. But I just suicide because I was like, whatever, I'll get the card advantage. I can still do stuff. It would have been nice to get a Unifrog, but I just figured, let me get a Death Frog back, because next turn I'll get the... So yeah, not only was I afraid of tagging, but also I wanted to push for damage with this Treeborn next turn. Yeah, so I special summon that. Synchro to level 6. Yep. So I just barely get there. It was like a weird grind game, but it would have been so much cleaner and prettier to look at if I had the Imperial Iron Wall, if I hadn't lost that crazy coin flip. So, interesting. So this is so weird. This has to be a mistake. Keeping in the Test Tigers with the Prisma. Like, this hand is awful against not me. Excuse me. So yeah, he gets to slam the Defissure, and I don't stand a chance. I have Heavy in here. Decree doesn't do it, so that sucks. I put in Decree as like extra back row hate and doesn't do anything against this. I could have waited. I don't have a Treeborn. So I could have waited for the Royal Decree. and summon Death Frog that way instead of getting it bounced. Because yeah, I was getting it through a substote. So if I waited a turn on Death Frog, I would have been rolling the dice on him not having a Glad and tagging, which I guess apparently would have been a smart play. So if I had just assumed he wasn't going to have a single Glad in his hand, even though he's playing the Respite version with upstarts, then maybe this roll decree. No, yeah, I'm just not sure. All the same, he has a Solemn. So this is another game I lose to Solemn. So here I go for it, and this kind of annoyed me because, and I probably could have Rule Sharked, because when I summoned this, he gave me a thumbs up. He gave me the okay, right? And then when I go into battle phase, he attacks. Then he activates the Solemn. So I go summon, wait, Solemn. Sorry, I go summon, wait, thumbs up, go into battle phase, and then he activates Solemn. So I probably should have just, yeah, and that's whatever. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have let this happen, right? Like, because the thumbs up, whatever. But yeah, that might have won me this game. That might have gotten me farther, so we'll see. But like that, the window, maybe I should have done, and I'm going to start doing this, what you see Rognak do is he'll always say Solemn ? It's like, hey, are you negating the summon? And then if you don't negate it, then the window to like bottomless happens. Then when I enter battle phase, you know, that's when I can attack, and it's kind of on me to enter battle phase and attack. So it's like you have to stop me at that point. I don't think I was playing quickly. I summoned it and it gave me the thumbs up, and I think that's probably me just being too nice, and it probably cost me. So maybe in those situations I should be shirking more. And so so here he couldn't do his Test Tiger thing. And again, like if this Death Frog, if I had activated this Royal Decree, if I had read the Solemn Judgment, I could have activated this before. If I could have activated before the Compulse if I wasn't afraid of a Glad, which he never drew. There are plenty of things that could have gone different. But yeah, I didn't have anything. And look at that. 3 Thunder Dragons.
God.
Yeah, that did it. So yeah,
this
I mean,
game doesn't get any much better.
Yeah. So here I go for the combo. No, yeah, this is the... What happens here? This is the 1 in 3. The other one, the 1 in 3 earlier, I was thinking of this game. It looks like I'm doing bad, weird stuff. Like, look, I'm so minus. I only draw the Exodius, and I had to do it to... Right. So I discarded the Exodius, which I never normally do, but I felt so punished for not having the Iron Wall the first time. So what I should have done in retrospect is given up on the Iron Wall and made just as weak of a board as Game 1. If I'd made just as weak of a board as Game 1, then I would have at least been able to get somewhere. But I had to discard the Exodius, and I'm able to dig a good bit because I know I already have the Fishborg and stuff. I was like, okay, well, all I have to do is draw Avarice. So I'm going to thin my deck of all my frogs, and then all I have to do is draw one of my 3 Avarice or one of my 2 Exodius, and I'll put back an Exodius. So it's not like that Exodius is gone forever. The moment I draw one of those cards, then I'll see it again. So yeah, I make hard dupe block. And I'm doing this safely as possible, but I drew the brick. So when I did this, at this situation where I drew these dead cards, I drew a Poison Draw Frog, a Foolish, and a Swap Frog. And a Face Storm. So the 3 cards I drew with my draw loop were all bricks. So I guess in theory, I could have not made this dupe block, and I could have rolled the dice and had I could have made it impossible to draw the Poison Draw Frog, which would have given me a fraction higher chance of not drawing one of the bricks I ended up ultimately drawing. But I did have a 1 in 3 chance of drawing the 2 Exodius, because I had 17 cards in deck, 2 Exodius, and 3 Pot of Avarice to get me jump started again. And then I also had 2 upstarts, or 3 upstarts in there. So of my 17 cards, 8 of them, so it was more like a 50-50. So that last draw was a 50-50 for me to keep going, and I lost it. So not only do I lose the coin flip for this game, but I also lose the coin flip for the combo turn that would have won me the game. And then he has the fucking Rescue Cat. Like, look at this. Like, what was he actually going to do? He couldn't do anything without a Test Tiger or a Rescue Cat. Because the Smashing... Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. Smashing would have killed one of these, and then he could have attacked and tagged. But I was basically banking on. Yeah, no, he was fine. Basically, I knew his deck's so good against me. Like, there were plenty of things he could add, and he had plenty of it. So here, the regular old Death Frog, I was so confident he was going to blow us up with Bestiary, and if he didn't, I was going to activate it. But I was like, okay, well, at least in this case, I get to summon the Treeborn and tribute summon the Death Frog, and hopefully this gets me somewhere. But he has the Bottomless. So if I'd held instead of bluffing with the Heavy Storm, I could have set the Foolish Burial, which I knew I wasn't going to use. So I could have like had that as bait to Bestiary or something, so that I knew I would have been able to run over whatever he got. He wouldn't have brought out a Laquari. And then I would have been able to use the Heavy, and then I could have run over it with Death Frog, and then maybe I could have won from there. So I guess setting Heavy was bad there when I could have set nothing, or... No, I probably should have set something, but it probably would have been Foolish or Imperial.
Yeah, right when that Death Frog bottom. Oh, it's over.
So here I overextend to get the exact same result as just summoning the Death Frog, basically. But he's able to ram with the Laquari instead of having a 1900 attack monster. But he does draw the Book of Moon, so it doesn't matter. There's so many things about this that don't matter. But the biggest thing that happened, the biggest thing that went wrong is game 2. I opened double Thunder Dragon. It happens, but hopefully not against your worst matchup in the most important game of the tournament. I guess I also lost a die roll. I don't know if I already said that. But I let him Solemn out of order when I probably should have been more rule sharky in that situation. Because you can look back at the replay, like if we played at normal speed, maybe I'll go back and do that just because I'm making a point out of it. And then the last thing is I have combo game 3, and I probably should have just discard the Imperial Iron Wall and just YOLO'd it, or actually win that coin flip that I should win of drawing any extender, even at that like, I'm talking about the 50-50 is only at that very last stage. I think if you add up all the cumulative chances, it's probably closer to like a 1 in 4 chance that I don't get there. So it's pretty good odds, and it's pretty unlikely that it happened. So misplays, sure, but ultimately I was playing more to my deck than to his, because like you have to understand that his deck just beats mine. So yeah, I guess I said let's just do that thing I said since his last video. So I said game 2, right?
Yep.
The Solemn play, yeah. This looks familiar. Man, I still can't believe this. That's just so crazy. So again, I have the Decree, and it's like I could have waited a turn, but whatever. And then again, I could have just activated this end of turn. So I knew this could have been a Solemn or anything relevant. Like, they're all traps. Like, why not? Was he going to do MST me? No, what he could do is BCR me. So that's what I was afraid of. So it's like, let's just pretend this is something relevant. This isn't something relevant. So that's kind of what I was hoping. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to flip this up until I'm comboing. So if it's a Solemn, I lose. And that's exactly what it was. But then I had another situation where if this is Solemn, I lose, and I could have played around that better.
I would just hit next play.
Yeah. So here okay. Okay, I missed it because I was fast forwarding. Sorry, guys. I mean, you saw the thumbs up. Everyone saw the thumbs up. It's just the timing that's... And I'm not actually sure what the ruling on this is. I don't know if I can discard this Thunder Dragon for a Thunder Dragon. I didn't think it really mattered. Okay. So this is all in real time, right? That's how replays work?
Yes.
Okay. All we can do is poke, so we can just do this so we don't skip it. I get my turn. Sit here and think for a sec. What can I do? What can I do? Oh, the only thing I can do is try to summon the Swap Frog. I was trying to figure out in my brain if there's a way I could like bounce the Swap Frog to get an extra normal summon, but there isn't. So I just... Oh, maybe he just thumbs up this. Yeah. Okay. No, I might be slandering him a little bit. Does he give me another thumbs up? You see how long this is, right? Okay. So, I guess it's not exactly... But you see what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of
Yeah,
sat there
people
and
take a
wait.
while.
Like, maybe I should have said solemn, right? So, I don't have a leg to stand on. What I should have done is position myself in such a way that if he was going to play like this, he would have had to do it right then. And if I'd asked him, he probably would have done it. So, I take everything back I said. But yeah, clearly I could have flipped this up first. And that probably would have made a big difference, so... Yeah, it's just in my mind, I was like, I'll get a combo turn. All I need is a swap frog or something. But yeah, I should have split this up. Yeah, it's just like in my brain, this is a bottomless, this is a compulse, this is a deep prison. I'll just decree to get the +1. But yeah, that was dumb. But yeah, so that's what cost me at least top 16. Who knows if I would have made it. I know if I played after this, it would have been against Diva Hero, which is a good matchup. So I had a pretty good chance of getting top 8, which again, I would have had to beat Rognak to get in the top 8, so who knows how that would have gone down. But yeah, that was my R.B.E.T 2 experience. A lot of hate, way more back row than I had to play in R.B.E.T 1, and yeah, stuff I was not prepared for, but still did okay. Like the deck still works, it still does its thing, and I still stand by it, and I definitely recommend anyone play it who's willing to use all their Bane cells all day. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for slandering you a little bit there, Jav. And anyone who watches this to the end will see that I'm being a dumbass. But yeah, thanks, guys.